Some time ago, I made a promise that I want to be able to make more base game builds, and today I'm going to try to create something that is going to perfectly fit into Willow Creek. I'm building this on that exact lot that the original museum is in Willow Creek. And also this is my second completely base game build, so if you would like to check out a gym that I've built, I'm going to link it down in the description. My goal is hopefully to make as many completely base game community lots as possible. So what else do I have in mind? I definitely want to make a library. A park would be wonderful. I don't know about you, but I think that parks are probably the builds that I use the most in my everyday gameplay. I just always end up going to a park with my Sims, regardless if it's a child or two adults that are going on a date. This museum has in total 4 sections. One is for paintings, then one for various vehicles, statues, I knocked my mic, and lastly crystals, because I figured that I'll have one more room to fill, and I was thinking that maybe if I put some sort of collectibles it would look kind of fun. Even though I had no issues with creating a floor plan for this build, I just had the worst time trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of the roof. I've tried out many different things and almost settled on what you're seeing right now, but ended up switching it because I just wasn't satisfied. I didn't feel like it fits with the style, and then later I finally figured out what I was doing wrong, and I'm really proud with the way the roof turned out. I feel like it makes the build look just a tiny little bit more interesting and not like a house, because I feel like this just looks like a house rather than a public lot now. I also added a few activities if you want to use this lot for not just museum purposes. So we have a chest table, easels, but I think easels are actually necessary for a museum, and also observatory. I've been recently trying to use the observatory more often, because where would you put that in? I don't think that we, generally speaking, put the big observatory object in our Sims houses, so I'm trying to always squeeze them somehow into one of my community lots. This video is coming out on the 14th of February, so I do want to wish all of you happy Valentine's Day. Even if you don't celebrate, I still hope that you can spend that time with people you love and care about, or even just your pet. Why not? That's what I'm probably gonna be doing, just chilling with my cats. And if you don't have any plans and don't want to feel lonely, I'm actually gonna be streaming on Valentine's Day. We're gonna have some cozy Stardew Valley. I'm trying to achieve perfection for the first time ever in Stardew, believe it or not. I've never done it before. And also we're probably gonna have a few mini games before I start. I am specifically thinking of doing a Valentine's Day themed pause game. I don't even know how many of you know what a pause game is, but it's kind of like you have just a filter or short video with multiple pictures of different characters going very fast through the screen, and you just have to pause every single time a new category appears. So for example, oh, this character is my childhood best friend, this character is my mortal enemy, something like that. And I figured that we can do a Valentine's Day themed one. I'm gonna be doing one for Genshin characters and also Jujutsu Kaisen. If you're interested, it's gonna be on Twitch, and also I'm going to post the VOD on my Kato Streams VODs channel, and all of them are linked in the description just in case. Another thing is that I am going to play Omori for the first time ever on stream. This might already happened by the time that you watch this video. I've never played this game before and I've heard great opinions about it, but at the same time, I know that a lot of people say that this game breaks their heart because it's just that intense. So I'm intrigued, but also worried that I'm gonna end up sobbing through the whole game. Let me know if you've ever played it. I don't know if it's like a very niche game. I haven't heard many simmers talk about this game, but in other areas of the gaming community, I definitely heard a lot about this game. I've heard so many great opinions, people saying that this is like one of those small indie games that just completely change your life. And if you actually have played more games like that, let me know, because I'm just on a mission to discover more smaller indie games, because I feel like the creators of those games usually just put so much thoughts into the story, and they have a very clear message of what they want to provide to the player. And speaking of trying out different games, like around 2 weeks ago or something like that, I started playing Love and Deep Space. Some of you maybe already heard about this game because it is a pretty popular romance game, and for some reason it like skipped all throughout my head for over a year, basically ever since this game came out. And I've been saying for almost a decade that something in my life has been missing ever since I finished playing Mystic Messenger back in 2016, and I just need some sort of replacement in my life. And out of nowhere, it's as if YouTube algorithm could hear my thoughts. Oh, you want a new romance game with really well developed characters and a cool storyline? Well, look no further. Here is Love and Deep Space. And I was just bombarded by the YouTube algorithm with those videos, and finally I was just like, okay, fine, I'm gonna click on one to check what this is about. And let's just say I immediately got hooked in. I had to download BlueStacks to be able to play on my PC because I tried downloading it on my phone, didn't work. And now 2 weeks later, I'm loving this game, genuinely. I feel like it's just providing me so much joy, and really it did fill that Mystic Messenger hole. And again, if you've never heard about Mystic Messenger, honestly, maybe that's for the better, because it is a very heavy topic game. Technically, it is an automa game, which automa games are, I guess, dating simulators. Though I wouldn't call them dating simulators. It's more like just a romance game where you roleplay as the main character and you just choose the guy that you want to romance. But the more you play this game, the more you realize that the characters have just so many dark secrets and really intense past. So I definitely feel like not everyone is going to enjoy it. I definitely did not expect the type of topics that are going to be discussed when I first started playing the game, but I think this is also the reason why I got so obsessed with it. I love me some good romance story, and I feel like this game specifically just brought a little spark back to my life. It's always nice to just focus on some cute anime characters and have fun. Tell me if there are any new games that you have tried recently, or if you played any of the games that I've just talked about. So, you know, Mystic Messenger, Love and Deep Space, Amori. Feel free to share your thoughts. I'm really curious about what you have to say about them. And so that's how my life has been looking like in the romance department. Nothing really eventful, to be honest. Tell me if you have any plans for Valentine's Day, if you celebrate. I know that there are couples out there who, even though they are in a relationship, but they still don't celebrate the Valentine's Day. I guess it really depends. Some people just feel like this holiday is very performative, I suppose, that it's not necessarily about actually celebrating love, but about just performing as if you were in love, which I can totally understand that point of view. However, I think that if I were to be in a relationship, I still would want to celebrate. I love love and I love celebrating it. So I like gifting myself some flowers or chocolate. I feel like there's nothing wrong with gifting yourself stuff like this. Heck, I would even dare to say that it's a very, maybe even healthy thing to do, to just give yourself stuff that you wish a significant other would give you. It's, I guess, a little celebration of yourself and a form of appreciation self-appreciation maybe. Also, just looking at the build, you will notice that there's a few things that make no sense. Like for example, the fact that there are ceiling lights in the entryway, even though the ceiling, there's no ceiling, essentially. It's an open space. But the thing is, when I deleted those ceiling lights, it got so dark downstairs. And even though I tried to put lamps or wall lights, it was just not enough to light this area up. So I was just like, I know it makes no sense, but we're just gonna ignore it. Speaking of that open space upstairs, there is a door that leads to a balcony that you cannot access. I am aware of that. It's just for the aesthetic, okay? I know it's not accessible, and specifically because of it, I did not put any objects over there that you could use. The easels are on the opposite side, so I guess like at the back of the building. But it's fine. I feel like we as simmers are just kind of used to the fact that some things are not necessarily going to be usable, but at least they will be pretty. Also, you may have noticed that I put these little arrows everywhere because I noticed that in most museums, if they have more than one area, one room, they usually have arrows that lead you how you're supposed to walk around the place. And that's what I figured I can do as well, that you first start on the left room, then you have to go upstairs to the room on the left again, then to the right room, and finally go downstairs again into the crystal room. And by the way, we're not there yet, but once I start putting the crystals, I try to actually do a rainbow with the crystals because I noticed that we have enough colors to do that. And who doesn't love a good rainbow organization system? I feel like whenever you try to color code something, the first thing that comes to your mind is a rainbow color scheme, right? So that's what I did with the crystals. I don't think I've actually used all of the crystals that were possible, but I did try to incorporate as many as I can. The crystal room genuinely is probably one of my favorites, even though I am not sure if your Sims can even really look at them when they're placed on a public lot. I've never checked that before. Maybe if not the crystals, then at least the paintings on the wall. In the end, this build costs, I believe, over 200,000 simoleons, and I blame all of that on the knight statues. Remember the good old knight statues? They scream legacy challenge to me so much. Nowadays, when you do a legacy challenge, you just don't even bother with that knight statue. Am I the only one? I have a legacy challenge on my Twitch and I didn't even bother with it. I was just like, who cares? I much prefer just take away all of the money from my Sims and make them start on an empty lot with 0 simoleons than have this knight statue for some reason stuck randomly in their inventory. Let me know if you've ever actually completed one. I can definitely tell from myself that I need a little break from my legacy challenge. I'm currently on Gen 3 going into Gen 4 and I already feel a little bit burnt out, and maybe it is because I'm playing just like a regular legacy challenge with no specific rules, but I want to know if you have played like a full 10 generation legacy challenge, and if yes, what's helped you to keep going, because I feel like I need a little pick-me-up right now. And now we are finishing with the build, so I'm going to properly show you around. Here's what the exterior of the museum looks like, and as you can see, this is what I was talking about with the roof, that I did this, I have no idea what the style is called of roofing, but it looks so much better than whatever I was trying to do before. I feel like this just looks like an actual museum right now. So in the front, we have a little fountain. Maybe I'm gonna press play so that you can see. Over here, we have some benches, the observatory, and in the back, there are the chess tables and the easels on the balcony. When you go inside, as I was telling you earlier, we have the little arrows that are pointing where you should go first. Here is the lobby. We can just pretend that someone works here. On the left, there is the paintings room. I've tried to add a few decorations, like some plants, these ottomans, and curtains. When you go up, you also have this, I guess, little library, which I'm surprised that people are using this bookshelf. I didn't expect that any Sims are going to be reading any books, but we also have the little vehicles section. I figured that this would be very popular among different kids, so that's why I put this carpet with a little train. And then on the right, we have lots of different statues. Again, I tried to add a few decorations. I do think it looks pretty good over here. Downstairs, there is the crystal room, and as I thought, no one is really coming in here. You can study it, so I guess that's good. What about the paintings? You can view them. Okay, no one's interested in the crystals. That is the finished lot. If you want to download this lot, it's just simply called Base Game Museum on the gallery, and my username is katodeling. I'm feeling pretty proud of the fact that I managed to make yet another base game build, and I'm hoping that maybe next time I'm going to try to tackle a base game library. Thank you so much for watching, happy Valentine's Day, and see you next week.